Going to learn about Microsoft Excel basic formulas, and the first function that we are going to look at is the sum function. This function is used to add up a range of numbers, and it's the most basic and frequently used function. And the way you're supposed to write it, or the way you're supposed to insert it, is you start with an equal sign and then you type sum, then you come and double click there. You've been directed here on what you're supposed to include for you to be able to use this function. So there's this first number. This number, the first number, is the number or the range that you want to add. And then there's this second number, which is the additional number or range that you want to add. And you can add as many numbers as you want, depending on how long your list is. So let's see different ways on which we can use the sum function. So suppose you have this list here, the one that we have here, and you want to sum up all these values from there to here. You want to know the total amount of these values. So what you do, you come here, assuming you want to know the total. So what you do, you come here and type an equal sign, sum, and then double click. After that, you come and select this range. After that, you press enter and you find your total value. So this is the total amount of this column here. Another way that you can use the sum function is maybe assuming you want to sum values from different cells or maybe non-adjacent cells. So assuming that maybe you want to sum this number here and this one here and maybe this one here. So what you do, you come again, start with an equal sign, type the word sum, double click, then you come and select this cell, the one that you want to, holding your control key, you come and select that cell. You hold your control key, select that one and that one. After that, you press enter and you find your total value of those specific cell that you wanted to sum up. That's another way. And the next way in which you can apply the sum function is maybe when you want to sum up across multiple ranges. Assuming that you want to sum up this range here, the salary column, and this one also. So what you do again, you start with an equal sign, insert the word function, double click, then you come and select this range. After that, you type comma, then you come again and select this other range. After that, you press enter. So that's the total amount of this range and this other range. So those are the ways in which you can use the sum function in Microsoft Excel. So another Microsoft Excel function that we are going to look at is called the SUMIF function. The SUMIF function, we can say that this function is used to sum up values in a range that meet a specified condition. And the way you're supposed to insert it is starting with an equal sign, then type the word SUMIF, then you double click. After that, been shown here that the first thing to include is the range. And the range, these are the group of cells, or this is the group of cells that you want to apply the criteria to. And then the second one will be the criteria, and this is the condition that must be met. And it could be a number, a text, an expression, or even a cell reference. And now finally there is this sum range, and this is the actual cells that you want to sum up if they meet the criteria. So let's see ways in which that you can use the SUMIF function in Microsoft Excel. So assuming you have this list, again we're using this list because this is what we have. So assuming you have this list again, and we have this department column, there's this department column, and there's this corresponding column, the salary column. So assuming you want to sum up these values depending or with the condition on which that you want to know only those people who works in the sales department, like you want to sum up the values of those people who only work in the sales department. So what you do is you start again with an equal sign, type SUMIF, double click. After that, you select the range under the department column. After that, you put comma. Then you start with an opening quotes. You type the word sales. Let's use the small letters. Type the word sales. You close quotes. After that, again, you apply comma. And then the sum range that we want to use. In this case, this is the sum range that we want to use. You select it. After that, you press enter, and that's the total amount of those people who only works in the sales department. So if you took this person here and this one here, this one here, and this one here, and the last one here, if you added all those numbers, we can try with an example. Let's sum those numbers. Sum. You come and select this first person here, comma. The other person in the sales department is this one, comma. The other person is this one, comma. And the last person is this one. So when you press enter, the results will be the same. So that's another way in which you can use the SUMIF function. Assuming you want to use the SUMIF function using the numeric criterion, if you want to sum values in a range based on a numeric criterion, say you sum these values here, in which, or maybe let's assume that you want to know those people who are earning more than 30,000 only. So what you do is you come again, starting with an equal sign, SUMIF, double click. Then after you double click, you come and select your range here, like that. After that, you put a comma, and then opening quotes, greater than 30,000. And then you close quotes. After that, you press enter. So that's the total amount of those people who are earning more than 30,000. Assuming that you'd want to confirm that, you can use the sum function, sum, and then you come and select those numbers that are greater than 30,000, like that. And after that, you press enter, you'll find the same results. So that's another way in which you can use the SUMIF function. The next way in which you can use the SUMIF function is assuming you want to sum values based on a condition specified in another cell. So suppose we have a text here written marketing, and we want to find the sum of numbers here based on what is written in this cell. So what you'll do is, starting with an equal sign, SUMIF, then because the marketing condition or the marketing, this text is from this column, so what you'll do, our first range that we are going to use is this one under the department column. Then after that, after you select that, you include comma, then you come and select this being our criteria. Again, you press comma, and after that you come and select our sum range like that, and then you press enter. So that's the total amount of those people, or that's the total amount of those people who are working in the marketing department. So in this case, the results here, as we can see, is based on what is written in this cell. So those are the ways that you can use the SUMIF function, and up to there I think we know now we can use the SUMIF function with a lot of confidence. So the next function that we are going to look at is called the average function, and the average function is used to calculate the mean of a set of numbers, and it's useful for summarizing data and understanding central tendency. And here is how you can insert it. Starting with an equal sign, then you type the word average. After you double click, we can see, so the first number, and then there is the second number. So let's go direct on how you can use the average function in this table that we have here. So assuming you want to average individual numbers, assuming you want to average maybe the first three numbers. So what you do, you starting with an equal sign, average, and then after that, after you double click, you come and select this number here, and this here, and that one. So when you press enter, you'll find the average of those three numbers, those first three numbers. So that's how you can use, one way you can use the average function. Another way is maybe when you want to average a range of cells like the one we have here. So assuming that you want to average the whole of this range, so you come and insert the average function, and then you come and select this whole range. After you press enter, you find the results. So this is the mean of this range of numbers. So that's another way in which you can use the average function. And what about when you want to average a mixture of cell references? Assuming maybe you want to average the first three and then another cell in this column. Assuming maybe, let's say this one. So what you do, start the average, then you come and select these two, no, these three, like that. After that, you put comma, and then you come and select this last cell. After that, you press enter. So that's the mean of those three numbers. So that's another way in which you can use the average function. And another way in which we can use the average function, if you want to calculate the mean of two range, like this one and this one. So you come and start with an equal sign, average, double click, select this range here, like that. After that, you include a comma, and then you come and select this other range here. And after that, you press enter. So that's the mean of this amount in these two ranges. So that's how you can use the range or the average value. And one thing to remember is if your range includes a non-numeric value or empty cells, average function will always ignore them.